Welcome to Subramani. Uh, my life and career has not taken the typical career which many professionals take, right? So, typically, if I had the day I passed my CA, I could have got a job in Larsen and Toubro or Crompton Greaves, two clients of Sharp and Tanner. And I could have had a nice corporate career, or I could have maybe shifted to banking or something like that and made a career in a bank. I did not do that. I took the chance of starting my practice, then finding a client who wanted me to manage his money, which meant I became a sub broker. I added more clients, then I became a main broker, then I gave all that up and said I'll do something else. So I took to training. Then I started writing, and then I wrote a book. I wrote another book, then I wrote another book, so 3 books. All sold well, and then vlogging, right? So some of it made money, some of it didn't make money. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I had the privilege of time and money because of which I could take these risks. So let me just explain. When I was starting my life just after my CA, the job opportunity was 1800 or 1900 in Crompton Greaves and about 2200 in Larsen and Toubro. The amounts were so low, even adjusted for inflation, it was not too high. I thought I could always earn this by my own efforts. I could do some certification, earn 500 rupees. All I had to do was make 5 certificates in a month, and that was not impossible. You could file income tax returns for about 500, you could or 300 maybe. You could do audits, you could supervise account writing, right? You could do all those things and earn 1500 to 2000 rupees a month. And I did not have a student loan to repay, I did not have rent to pay, I was staying with my father. And importantly, my father had enough money to feed me for the next 30-40 years, 50 years, right? So there was that privilege that I could take risk was there. From where does this privilege come? This privilege comes from either having your own ancestral money, or having a spouse who is earning well, or having created some annuity. Right, wrong, I'm not getting into all this. Only when you have all this can you go on social media and pontificate that, oh, I did this and you can also do that. That is completely wrong, right? So I cannot say I did this so you should also do this. I can tell you what I did CA, right? So that fallback option was there, that I could just quit everything and go back to a job maybe at 25, 26 instead of at 23, and life would have been not so great as a business person, but it would have been great as an employee, right? So largely when you do your own business, life is not too great in terms of lifestyle, in terms of quality of money, etc. In fact, you exchange a 9 to 5 job for a 7 to 7 uncertainty without even knowing whether you will make any money. So it's not very easy to be on your own, but you have to at least admit the privilege. Take the privilege of somebody like an Abhishek Bachchan or a Kareena Kapoor or an Alia Bhatt. They get a chance to fail a lot because they don't have any great pressure of money or of time. How quickly should they start, right? So you start acting at 18. None of them went to some great, none of them have a great academic career. Then you start and you try and you try and you try, and suppose you get your first hit at 28. What keeps you going from 18 to 28 is the fact that you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay for food, you don't have to pay for any of those luxuries of life which others can't even dream of. So the fact is, I mean, can you call whatever you want to call this, right? You call this, oh, they are privileged and things like that. Yes, I was privileged. Without that, without having created an annuity, I could not have quit everything in the year 2000. That annuity I created, but the fact that I could start off my own business or my own practice and then start broking business could all come from the safety net provided by my father. So same thing today, if you see in the social media, people who tell you that, oh, you should retire very quickly and quit your 9 to 5 job, all that is great to pontificate, but the question is, the dull, boring job puts food on your table. It puts a roof over your head. It pays your EMI. It pays your rent. It pays for the rations, right? So all that is also important. It is easy to ignore all that and say, my job is very boring. I know people who have got frustrated after quitting their job and not knowing what to do have gone back to their jobs, right? So these things do happen. So you can't just wake up one day and say, from tomorrow I'm going to do this. It doesn't happen. I mean, writing didn't pay for itself for a very long time. Then suddenly one magazine, just one newspaper pays for it, right? And then I found one more magazine which pays for it. Then I found one website which pays. Then I found one PR agency which comes and says, can you write article for this? Can you ghost write an article for my boss? Who happens to be CEO. So some of those things start paying. Is writing alone enough to run a house? No. Is vlogging alone enough to run a house? No. It can pay maybe for your electricity bill and telephone bill and things like that, but it is not a very great profession to pursue, right? So, but yes, it does pay. But when does it pay? Maybe after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years. And also understand, I had the luxury of being a trainer, and training also does not pay. The fact that I could become a full-time trainer is because of my dividend income. I knew my dividend income as a backup would always stand by me, and therefore I could retire at 39. So right, not everybody can be that privileged. So when you have privilege, you have two things. You have time, you have money, and you have a long runway in which to experiment and fail. So I could have tried other things and failed, right? I could have become an insurance agent and failed, which I did. So these things happen. So you have to build your annuity. So those people who come and tell you that quit your job, it's a dull and boring job and it doesn't pay, yes, but it puts food on your table, right? Some of us have that privilege, some of us don't, some of us have built it, some of us don't even admit to the world that we have built it, right? And also what happens is, it is easy to tell people, I did it so you can do it. No, not everybody can do it. If you had the discipline of education, if you had the discipline of a job which allows you to moonlight, if you created a steady stream of annuities, right? So then you have done all that. So don't tell me that you did nothing and you just started off on blogging and you made money. You didn't. This long runway is needed, right? So when you don't have the runway, don't try to copy, right? Don't try to copy paste something which you can't. This reminds me of a joke that one man goes to a conference, and in the morning he is attending the conference, and the conference speaker says, I've spent a lot of time in the arms of another woman who has kissed me a lot, and I have also kissed her, and it's not my wife. And there is deathly silence, right? So then the speaker says, oh, it's my mother. So then there is applause all around and all that happens. And then the same guy in the evening, he goes for a drink with his friends. He's a little tipsy. And he says, his wife is also there with him, and he says, I've spent a lot of time on the arms of another woman, sitting on her lap, and we both kissed a lot, and etc., etc. And his wife turns to him with anger in her eyes like a dragon, and he then says, oh shit, I forgot, right? So if you can't paste, don't cut, right? So if you can't copy everything that a person, that a blogger does, so first of all, you have to have that kind of ability to research and to see whether you have the privilege of what those people had, whether you have that kind of annuity income, or maybe a wife who is earning very well, or a parent who has left you money, or you're a woman and your husband is earning very well. Some backup is needed, because when you fail, you have to have the ability to come back. Otherwise, when you're under pressure to earn money, the chances are you will do something wrong, the chances are you will fail, and that will lead to a lot of frustration. So be careful about what you're doing, be careful about listening to people who say give up that job. See whether you have created an annuity for yourself. Many bloggers I know have created an annuity, or they have a job, or they have a wife who is earning well, or they have a business which is running well, and therefore they are here. I mean, you don't expect an Anand Mahindra or a Harish Goenka. They are not trying to make money on social media, right? So similarly, at least in those cases, you know that they have a big business which they are running, and or somebody else is running and they are just chairman of that those companies. It's not to say that they don't have enough work. They have enough work, but they have the privilege of having other income. They are not looking for income here. Many people who are looking for income here may have had some backup, saying, okay, I have this backup, so I have a runway. Maybe they are doing something wrong. Maybe they are getting paid for doing some things which you may not want to do, right? You may not want to sit and negotiate with PR agencies how much they will pay you for each. I mean, I could keep a glass of some drink and I could get paid for that. I could have something displayed here and I could get paid for that. So many other ways of making money are there. I could speak about a brokerage account and they would all come and open their brokerage accounts there. I could give a link to that. I could sell mutual funds. I could do anything online. I could talk about insurance. I could talk about a shoe. Shoe company did offer me money for writing a blog about their shoes, right? So no, it's not of great interest to me. I don't need that money thanks to the dividend that I have built up, right? So I have the commissions, I have the dividends, I have all those trail income, but none of that is too great, right? But does it really matter whether I make any money on social media? No. So do I make any money? Yes, I do Google ads, which pays me some maybe $10-12 a day. Is that great money? No. Is that a profession? No. Can I do something else where I earn much more money than this? Answer is yes, but I've chosen to do this. It is not so bad. I get paid for writing, which I never thought I will get paid, but some people are paying for writing. So some of these things all add up, that's it. But don't think you can do a cut paste. Remember the story, don't cut if you can't paste. Thank you.